February 1st, Receptive Radio. Welcome, welcome. So we're halfway to spring, I think, today. So that's glorious. And it's actually feeling a little bit like spring today. I saw a bee. So welcome to all the viewers. If you want, you can put your name in the comment because I can't see who is here. So if you put your name, I can see who's watching. And thank you for coming. So we're going to go from gloomy to glorious. And even if you're not feeling gloomy right now or triggered by anything, you're going to learn a trick, a tip, a tool to get you into receptivity, pure potential, feeling good in 20 minutes. And it might even be able to be faster for you. Okay, so there's 3 stations. This station is Receptive Radio. This is where all possibilities, all potential can happen. And so you stay open, receptive to the best coming in for your highest good, effortlessly, open to flow, open to receiving the guidance, the direction, the financial support, the happiness, everything that you want and desire, staying in that field of potential. So that's a station that we can tune to. And I named it Receptive Radio because we want to be here as much as possible and eventually 100% of the time. So there's 2 other stations, and my other teacher, Rachel Jane, she uses these names. So I'm going to just copy them. And thank you to her. And thank you to Anka for actually reminding me about this practice yesterday and giving me some inspiration on how to share it today. So thank you to my friends and colleagues for sharing this. So Receptive Radio, pure potential, pure joy, happiness, fulfillment, open and receiving effortlessly, easy. But there's another station on the other end of that called Gloomy FM, or disappointment, or triggered, any of those things that make you feel bad. So we get into thought forms, we get into stuckness around it, we feel frustrated, irritated, and it's extremely contracting. It closes us up to receiving anything. And it's hard to get out of sometimes when we get into that spiral. So that's Gloomy FM. And then there's Reality FM. And it's kind of boring. Reality FM. It's like, I don't feel good. I don't feel bad. It's kind of not, what's reality? Like, oh, my bank account's empty. Or I don't have enough food in the fridge. Or I have to do this. So it's not bad, but it's not good, and it's not totally gloomy. So pure potential, Receptive Radio, keeps us open to receiving what we would like to have happen in our lives and in the present moment. When we get into Gloomy FM, we are usually upset about something that has happened to us, a disappointment, an argument, a fight. Things didn't go the way you wanted, and then you kind of get into this storytelling thing in your mind, and you pull yourself out of being present, and you're in the past. And when you're in the past, you're definitely not in the present. So when your mind starts going to past events that are negative, you're putting energy and attention to that past. So it takes you out of presence immediately. Then in Reality FM, you feel okay, but you're not good, you're not bad. It's pretty neutral. But why not be in Receptive Potential FM, Receptive Radio? So we're going to try a little practice. So I want you to think about something. It doesn't have to be a really big problem. It can be something that's triggering you, that's coming up, and that you're pissed off about. It's bugging you. You feel resentment. It didn't go your way, and it's something that has happened, and it's keeping you in a loop of negative thinking or negative complaining, blaming, gossiping, It's drawing you in that direction. Why does this always happen to me? So get something, bring it to mind. For me, I'm going to use overwhelm, because feeling overwhelmed makes me feel tired, makes me feel like, oh, I got all this stuff to do. How am I going to get it all done? It starts to close me off, because then I think I need to figure everything out and I have to learn more. And how am I going to do all this? So I'm going with overwhelm for my Gloomy FM station feeling. So just kind of feel into it. And I want you to notice, and I'm going to ask you to put it in the chat, where you are on a scale between 1 and 10. 1 being it's really not feeling good, and 10, you're feeling great. So when you're in Gloomy FM, it should be a low number. So bring that topic up to your mind. And if it's already been there, use it. And I want you to notice where your breath is when you're thinking about this thing. So I'm using overwhelm. When I feel my breath, it is right up in my chest. It's kind of constricting me. I can't get enough breath. I don't have enough time. And then what about your energy? Feel into your energy. How does your energy feel when you're in this gloomy place? I feel tight, even a little dark. It kind of looks cloudy. And then what about your facial expression? Do you sometimes like do this? Huh? Uh, Overwhelmed. I don't want to do it. Just notice what your body's doing. The other morning I woke up and I was thinking about something that I was disappointed about, and I was all pursed in my face, in my mouth. It's a good sign that you're in Gloomy FM. Another thing would be your thoughts, of course. So if you're noticing what kind of mean, nasty, ugly thoughts you might be having, or where they keep going, worry, anxiety, stressful thoughts, blaming thoughts. And then your emotions. Notice into your heart and your feelings. Like, how do you actually feel? Like, are you feeling, you might even be feeling sick to your stomach, or closed off in your heart space. So if you could be so kind, put in the comments the number on the scale between 1 to 10, 1 being the gloomiest, where this thing in your life, this disappointment or trigger, is feeling for you while you're in Gloomy FM. So overwhelm, I'm putting a 2. It brings me into gloomy. And if you don't feel like sharing, that's okay too. But note it for yourself, okay? So now let's take the same topic. So for me, it's overwhelm. For you, it might be something else. And let's go into reality FM. Like, okay, what is the reality of this? All right, the reality is I have this to-do list to do. I have to complete so many things. Or that person is upset with me, or that person doesn't know I'm angry with them. Like, what's actually the reality around what you're upset about? What's causing you to be upset? And another thing that Anka reminded me about was, when you're in it, just talking out the words of it helps to release it as well. So in this reality part, like, just say the words about what's upsetting you out loud. Like for me, I'm feeling tired, and I know I need to do this marketing stuff, and I know I need to have lunch, and I know I'm getting on a few calls later on. How am I going to squeeze it all in and get everything I have on my to-do list done? So I'm talking it out loud to myself, and it's just bringing my awareness to like the reality of it, the schedule that I have today and tomorrow. And then notice into your breath, where does reality feel? Where, when you're breathing into reality of like, okay, I have that much to do. For me, it's kind of mid chest. Okay. Somebody put 3 for Gloomy. Perfect. And then what's your facial expression like when you're thinking about what the actual reality of what you're going through or the situation? It's not as contracted. It's more like, okay, but I'm not smiling. I'm not happy about it. It's more flat, more neutral. And then feel into your energy around this and reality, like the real situation at hand. For the overwhelm, it's like it feels a little busy, a little jumpy. And then emotionally, how are you feeling about it? Ah, for me, it's like, well, it is what it is. I can't, I can't, it's just, but I can ask for more help, but it is what it is. It's kind of the, you know, flatlining. But in reality, I found my thoughts aren't as gloomy. So I'm noticing that. What about your thoughts? Okay. So put in the comments if you moved up on the scale when you went into reality FM, like was it a little bit higher than 2 or 3 or 1? Okay. So now let's go into Receptive Radio. Let's get into Potential FM. So take this thing, mine's overwhelmed, and feel into the potential of receiving pure clarity around what to do next or having it totally resolved. Just feel into that and notice your breath. When the potential is that whatever's bothering you is completely resolved, notice into your breath. Mine's definitely deeper. It's more in my belly. And then notice your facial expression when you're completely resolved. All possibilities are able to come in to resolve it, to receive the guidance. I'm definitely smiling. I feel better. Oh yeah. And then notice your facial expression then. So when you're smiling, do you have an uplift around it? All possibilities? Yeah. The possibility that it all gets completed and I'm faster than I thought I would be, or the disappointment goes away. All possibilities. Just feeling into it. And then what about your energy? Notice what your energy is like when all possibilities are capable. All resolution. pure potential, receiving all the answers, open to guidance from your intuition. A light bulb turns on. Suddenly the answer appears. Notice what your energy feels like. Mine's definitely smoother, smoother. Feeling more radiance as well. And then emotionally, how does that feel? Yeah, all possibilities. All guidance comes in, the answer appears, the direction is clear. Trust, you're feeling into trust. Feels uplifting to me, like, oh yeah, it can happen. I can do it all today that I wanted to. And then what about the words that you say to yourself when anything is possible around this issue? I'm definitely noticing my voice is a lot softer when I talk about all possibilities. Oh, I'm actually not feeling as tired either. That I have the energy to do everything I want to get done. Sitting in that pure potential, that receiving radio station, tuning to it. And because just notice into your thoughts for a second. I don't even have any thoughts. It's like I'm just receiving the next word to say to you. Anything's possible. And even those words transform my belief that, yeah, anything is possible, and that I can look at it as like, ooh, growth instead of overwhelm. Look how much I'm growing. Look how much there is to grow in my business. Look how much I could delegate. No feeling into that. So put in the chat now from 1 to 10, what is potential FM receptive radio on the scale of 1 to 10? How does that feel with the issue, the trigger that you brought to today's episode? I'm definitely feeling like a 9. Could even be a 10. I'm feeling really light, airy, positive. So look how fast you can move something that's bothering you to feeling good. I'm waiting to see anyone's answers if they want to put it in the chat. If they feel a shift, anything is possible. Cool. A 10. So just knowing that there is stations that you can tune into: receptivity and potential, reality, neutral, or gloomy, down in the dumps. And it's okay to be in any of them at any time. But just if you're aware and you're conscious and you're noticing that, I know a trick, I know a tool that can take me to getting into feeling good, and then moving in that direction in the present moment, attracting more feeling good to you. Because I don't know if you've ever noticed that when you're having a negative thought, negative things start happening around you, and, that kind of thing. So moving up the scale into potential FM, receptive radio really can happen quickly. We just have to realize that we're complaining or we're blaming or we're gossiping or we're stuck in disappointment or upsetness. But let's move back to receptive radio. Let's move into potential FM. Let's carry that energy that anything's possible if I open up to receiving the guidance. And Anka was sharing with me, she did this practice with a group of women, and she noticed in herself, and you might notice this too, that as she was moving from gloomy to reality to potential FM, she was yawning, like it was like a release was happening. So you might notice your body, you might notice a shift in energy happen physically, like some kind of a twitch even to indicate a biofeedback that there is a shift happening, because energy moves once it gets unstuck. So you might yawn. So thank you so much for coming to Receptive Radio today. It's great to have you here. And thank you for sharing in the comments. I really appreciate it. And I wish you a receptive and pure potential, amazing day and weekend. Have a great one.